trash here. And we are officially live, celebrating a great victory today. The Black Pillars on Twitter are very annoying, but they were proven wrong today, weren't they?
So true.
Yes, they were for sure.
Proven wrong.
Wisconsin brings home a win.
It sure does for the first time since 2020. This is the phenomenal 2020 election stuff, which we love talking
Yes.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
how you get.
no.
That's how you get. I mean, now I think you can talk about it more than you could before. So
You can't, but that's not the point. We're going to be talking about our boy Kyle, who
Yes.
deserves a prayer if you haven't. Pray for Kyle.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
he went through so much. And I hope he sues every single piece of shit journalist for everything they own. And he becomes a millionaire and can live off that.
Honestly, he had to go through at least a year of hell.
Oh, yeah. Especially these last few months.
Yeah, a defamation lawsuit. Truthfully, there is no justice done until a defamation lawsuit takes place. Maybe, Kyle walks, but until a defamation lawsuit takes place against the media and the prosecution, there is no justice.
Yeah, I agree.
So true, so true.
Yeah, and something that kind of got brushed under the rug was Derek Chauvin's case. Chauvin was convicted of all three charges: murder, and oh man, I can't remember the other two. But no one has tried to get him out. No one's tried to help him out. Nothing's happened there.
Yeah.
It kind of just got brushed under the rug.
It just doesn't. It doesn't have the same optics. I guess that's why, really, because it's a lot harder to stand up for that because of the
That's true.
Because was what they said actually stuck a lot better because the facts were more ambiguous there. With the Kyle situation, the facts were fairly clear, but they were just putting like such intense, like insane liberal lenses over it that they made it look blurry to people that weren't paying attention to what the actual facts were.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, and if you were one of us autists who are paying attention to this trial every single day, like what I was,
yes,
we saw how just absolute piece of shit this prosecutor was, how dirty he was, lying about evidence, doctoring a video. That's a crime. Of course, he won't be punished because of our justice system.
Well, I mean, it wasn't technically doctoring though. He just sent it. He just sent it where the video would get blurrier. I don't know.
It just happened, It just happened to benefit us. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's pretty much doctoring. I saw how blurry it was, and it was so bad. It was like, come on, that was done in bad faith. It was not done unintentionally.
Yeah, the prosecutor, Binger, absolute piece of shit. The Binger, Golden Corral Man, as we like to call him. Golden Corral Man. This evidence.
What pisses me off about him most is like you can tell in his voice that he's straight, but he's on the borderline. So it's like so close to being gay. Yeah.
No, he's just gay.
He's just, yeah.
Absolute piece of shit. Let's not give him any mercy.
Yeah,
that's true.
And
lawyers, man.
If that wasn't enough for Kyle, we also had all these BLM protesters and Joe Biden literally calling to intimidate the jury. As we saw, two of the jurors were not going to make a decision because they were scared for their lives, because they were threatening to kill them. Most of these people on Twitter, these demented freaks, is what we should call them. I mean, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, the whole thing was they were trying to get a trial by public opinion and not by law, because they knew that if it was a trial by law that they would lose. But what they were trying to do was really anger, first of all, protesters around the town so that the prosecution would feel like, if they get the wrong verdict, the town's going to burn. And they were also trying to sway the jury's heart. It was totally an emotional appeal. There was no prosecution by law. If you look at anything Binger did, it was ridiculous.
Well, yeah. I mean, I mean, yeah, even at the end of the at the end of the court, at the end of the what is it, the final hearing or whatever. At the end, the judge was talking about he was talking about how we're gonna talk to you later about how we're all gonna be safe, guys. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You know, we should be giving
Yeah.
thanks for Kyle this Thanksgiving for taking out some trash that needed to be gone. You know, he did us a favor, and this stream is going to be a little bit more edgy than usual because I have a special despise for these people and the just rats. They're the media. We shouldn't treat them as people, honestly.
Yes.
Stop calling them
Yeah.
people. They're just rats.
They're not people. They're just sodomites. That's that's right.
And the sad thing about this too is Kyle wasn't going to hurt anyone. He wasn't going to take out the trash like they so in
Yeah.
poor taste said about that man who was shot in Portland, simply for wearing a Patriot Prayer hat. He was going to protect the community, to clean up, spray paint. You know, he was going to a community that he worked in and that his dad lived in, that he had ties to, solely to defend it. He was acting. Truth is, he's a hero. He wasn't a vigilante or anything. It was total. That's why it was totally a self-defense case.
No, it totally was. All the evidence was in Kyle's favor. Of course, the prosecutor just made up a bunch of shit and tried to twist it in his favor, lying about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He crossed state lines. How many times we've heard that on Twitter?
Guys.
50 times from these silly face monsters.
Guys, those 30 minutes, man. That 30-minute drive, you know. Whoa. Even though was it Grosskreutz? Was it like a 55-minute drive for him, and then Kyle was on like a 32-minute drive or something like that?
Yeah, it was something crazy like that.
Very funny. These people suddenly care about borders now.
That's right.
We got them to care about borders. Oh.
Yeah, it's and what that shows you, the fact that borders was such a huge argument here, is that really most people are literally just puppets, because you get people saying that we should have totally open borders and that we should have lax immigration laws. He passes the line, and then the media starts spinning this story, and so everyone is pretty much literally the media's puppet. They literally just take what they say and they internalize it in their mind, and there is no other logic. The divine rule of the media is their total logic.
Yeah. For the bug
that was,
it is.
And that was like their only like actual point, though, right? Was I felt that was the only. I mean, I didn't think we'd actually get charged, but that was the only thing that they actually should have investigated. Was the what was it? The crossing state lines? But even then, that was thrown out, right? No, it was not so. He was crossing state lines, and that he had a rifle, and he was only 17 years old. Like that was the only thing that should have been investigated and actually gone to court in the first place, which and that was thrown out. That was thrown out. Like it was thrown out.
Yeah, it was because he was allowed to own that gun under Wisconsin law. He had to bring it across state lines, as these people like to claim. The gun was not with him.
Yeah, he got it there, right? Yeah, he got it there.
He got it in Kenosha.
Yeah,
from his father or his friend. I forgot which one.
I think it was his friend.
It was his friend. His friend, who, by the way, threw him under the rug. His friend threw him under the bus. You know.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he was. I don't remember what he did, but he was like trying to. Gosh, I don't know what he did. I can't remember it now, but yeah, no, he lost a friend over this 100%.
Yeah, you gotta watch who your friends are. They will throw you under the bus as soon as you are proven inconvenient to them.
Yeah.
And this was such a clean-cut case from like over a year ago when we saw the video. It was clean-cut self-defense. I mean, let's just start from the very beginning. So he goes to this event, this protest riot, we'll just call it what it is. He goes to this BLM riot because the media once again lied about Jacob Blake, who threatened his wife with a knife and tried to resist being arrested by police officers.
It wasn't his wife. It was his like girlfriend. It was his live-in. It was his longtime girlfriend, right, or something like that.
Yeah, it was his girlfriend or wife, whatever.
They don't get married, okay? I mean, come on, you know that. Come on, getting married.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'm giving too much credit to these criminals. And he pulls out a knife or whatever, and so the police think he's dangerous, and so they're trying to arrest him. We saw this in the video clearly with Jacob Blake. and he thinks he lunges for something, and so the police shoot him justly in the back, and he's taken to jail. And obviously, the lying media, the rats of society, are going to lie about this and say it's racism or whatever they're going to say. And that's what was used to start this whole riot in the first place in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And let's not forget that they burned down houses and buildings and they killed people in
And like,
Wisconsin.
it was like 4 different car lots. All right,
Yeah,
but the majority of car lots are they're local. I mean, there's a lot of sketchy stuff that goes on with like car dealerships, but car dealerships still are mostly local businesses.
Yeah, and especially during like 2020 when all the vehicles were getting more expensive, people can now only afford used cars. And the reason that they worked so hard to spin this case, really they knew they couldn't get this as anything else but a self-defense case. The media knew that Kyle was acting in self-defense, right? They weren't. It's so what it was they're trying to put fear into people. They're trying to say, don't defend your communities, don't clean stuff up, don't, I can't think of the word right now. Don't be like Kyle. And the reason why it was so important for them to attack someone like Kyle is because there's a lot of young people who sympathize with Kyle. There's a lot of young people who want to clean up their communities, who want to quote unquote, take out the trash when Kyle wasn't even taking out the trash. Kyle was just doing the right thing here. And then he had to act in self-defense. So it was imperative for the media to target him so that they can have even less resistance in the future when there are either future riots or some forms of control.
Yeah, we'll just go on about the media for a second here because they just lying about Kyle again. And they were just so vicious about Kyle. And we saw on Twitter all the progressives, all the people just viciously attacking him. KKK, we've heard it all already on Twitter from these people.
Yeah,
and that was the main reason why they hated him, especially the cathedral had to attack him because he was white, and he defended himself against people who were puppets of the regime. Let's call it these people what they are. They're puppets of the regime who will do whatever the media tells them to do. And Biden is freaking calling for a riot now, as we saw on Twitter. That's what these people will do.
Did he call
Did
for?
he actually?
What did he say? Yeah, what did Biden say? Can you pull it up? Can you pull it up for us?
Yeah,
Can we,
let's pull it
show
up.
it on the screen?
Hang on. Let me find out Twitter. Talk real quick while I find it.
Yeah, let me see. Hold on a second.
No,
I think I thought I saw something about that, but I didn't actually see the tweet. I could imagine.
Hang on, let me find it.
Yeah.
Hang on. Governor,
because if he's
care about Governor Fuckface Evers.
I think it's probably it's definitely illegal for him to do that. So let me see.
I'm trying to find it. Find this tweet. Of course, I can't find it now.
Okay, I'm gonna read his full statement.
Okay, go ahead and read it.
In just a moment while the webpage loads. We must acknowledge that the jury has spoken. I ran on a promise to bring Americans together because I believe that what unites us, that is not a coherent sentence, is far greater. Oh no, it is a coherent sentence. Is far greater than what divides us. I know that we're not going to heal our country's wounds overnight, but I remain steadfast in my commitment to do everything in my power to ensure that every American is treated equally, with fairness and dignity under law.
Yeah, it's called we have some bad internet sometimes.
So we love. It's only good if the internet's good. If the internet's
I urge
bad,
everyone to express their views. It's not a bad statement, but it's funny because his administration gave all that money to Black Lives Matter last year.
Point this out to the viewers. Like, if you read through the tea leaves of what he's trying to read through the bullshit, the corporate bullshit, because he did not write that tweet. We don't know about Dementia Biden here. If you read through it, he's saying there was actual justice, so you guys need to riot. because we didn't get the conviction that was necessary.
Yeah, I mean, he did say many Americans will be feeling angry. He says, express their views peacefully, which,
Yeah.
you know what happens when they go out to do stuff peacefully.
Mostly
But
peaceful. Mostly peaceful. Okay, mostly
yeah,
peaceful.
Mostly
mo-
peaceful that
I mean,
result in
that was
murders
their
and
goal, right? I
buildings
mean,
being burned.
their goal was the political cause. Okay, so since they failed at getting the political cause through the court case itself, they're going to try and get it done through other means now, I think. So, I mean, I expect there to be a backlash to this, maybe, which will be their secondary threat to people actually caring or taking care of their communities.
Yeah, they want Kyle to be an example. If you try to defend yourself against three awful pieces of shit, they will make an example of you and attack you and lie to you. And they'll
Yeah.
lie about you and try to throw you in jail. And you know what happens when you're thrown in jail? They'll beat you, of course. You won't. We know what's going on with the Tierney E6 people. Heard the
Yeah.
reports about them.
Yeah, and he was going to be charged as an adult too, which is entirely that was illegal as far as I'm concerned. If you commit a crime when you're a minor, you're charged as a minor, I believe.
I mean, it's not that uncommon, I would say. If you're like 16 or 17, it's not that uncommon if it's a major crime to be tried as an adult. But it's still, I don't know. Yeah, it can happen with like permissions or whatever. But it's still pretty weird that that's even a thing.
Yeah, let's just go over the night that it happened. Just go over the instances of self-defense that the prosecution, Golden Crown Man tried to do on his pointer, and the drone footage, which, we just messed it up. We sent you the wrong footage, just conveniently happened, Not bad faith at all. So Kyle goes to the car lot. He's called there. He's allowed to be there because it's private property, and they're trying to start a fire, these people. And I think Rosenbaum was already there. I think he was one of these people, like one of these agitators trying to keep this fire going. I believe that's correct. I'm not sure. Quote me on that.
You mean the trash can fire? Or not the
the
dumpster fire? The
parking
dumpster
lot.
fire, like the big dumpster? Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle was called. One of his friends told him, hey, there's a dumpster fire near the parking lot. He's like, okay, I'll be on their way. And it was like 3 blocks away, I believe, from where he was. He got a call from his friend. This is just what I've heard.
Wasn't that closer to the gas? Was that the gas station one where they were trying to push?
Yeah, it's just at the gas station.
Okay.
I forget what that name of the gas station is in Kenosha.
Yeah, I don't. I don't remember that either.
Yeah, this. I mean, I'm looking at pictures of Kenosha during the riots that night, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like there is the fact that Kyle was here was, first of all, insanely brave. Most people wouldn't do that. And second of all, it's like it's pretty obvious that guys like Kyle needed to be around, because I'm looking, the fire department is hardly able to put this stuff out. And once a fire starts, especially in a city, it can spread to other buildings. And all of London burnt a couple times in the 19th century.
But let's just think about that for a second. The police and fire department were held back from this protest by Governor Evers. Let's not forget who ordered that, by the way. And that was for a reason, by the way, because they knew they were their friends. These protesters were, of course. And they were going to do the less bidding. That's why it was allowed to happen. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, I mean, the only police were like, I mean, there were gunshots before and after the shootings that Kyle Rittenhouse was involved in, and the cops were at least they were at least like 5 minutes away, right? It was like 5 minutes between the shooting and then the second one, but Kyle was running for like 4 minutes, if I'm remembering exactly how it went correctly. So he ran he had the first shooting he was involved in, and then the other one was, I think it was 4 minutes after, when he was running away. So the police were at least 5 minutes away, and they were already shooting before Kyle Rittenhouse, and after, and they were still like, they weren't even in. They were like, I mean, 5 minutes away is not far away, but still, I mean.
Yeah, let's just go over what Kyle had to do that night. and the absolute skill that required to take out those trash. You know,
Mhm.
it's called to take out the trash
Mhm.
sometimes. You know, Chad Kyle has taught us that.
Check it.
So after the car dumpster fire, I believe he tries to. He has a fire extinguisher, I believe. I don't know if it's on video or not. He tries to put out, but one of the protesters has a gun, I believe, and he starts like flashing it at Kyle, and then Kyle starts backing away.
Yeah.
I believe, if I'm remembering the story correctly.
Are you
how
talking
it's
about after
going.
the first shooting? Or
No, I'm
was
talking
that
about before that.
okay.
What led up to the first shooting and Rosenbaum
Okay.
chasing him. And so that starts happening, and then Rosenbaum is behind him because he's starting to retreat now in the parking lot towards that van or whatever the car is. And so Rosenbaum throws a bag of something at Kyle. We don't know what was in it because the bag was never found.
Surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that the stupid argument, well, he should have just retreated, was bullshit because he was.
He
And
was.
he
Yeah.
had to defend himself because they were trying to take his weapon. And they try to kill him with a skateboard. Let's not forget that.
Mhm.
Second point. And
Oh, but
so,
you're moving too far ahead. Though we're still.
okay, so Rosenbaum.
Yeah.
So Kyle is retreating, and now he's cornered in this car.
Mhm.
And so Rosenbaum is now catching up to him, and he's getting really close to Kyle. And so Rosenbaum and he's starting to go around the car in the footage you can see. And so Rosenbaum, I think he grabs Kyle. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Mhm.
And then he tries to grab his gun.
Mhm.
And that's when Kyle turns around and
Well,
takes.
actually, and it's not just that though. He was going for him, and also there was a gunshot. Okay, so there was a
behind him
gunshot
in the air.
before he turned around, right?
Yeah, when Rosenbaum started chasing him out.
Yeah, as he was getting close to him, someone shot near Kyle. I think weren't they not sure if it was in the air or if it was near Kyle? Someone shot in that area, and then he turned around, right? That's how I thought it to be. Is that, and then he turned around towards was it Rosenbaum? Yeah.
Yeah, the pedophile, whatever you want to call him. That's what he is. He's in hell right now, where he belongs.
There we go.
So okay, so we're at Rosenbaum, and so Kyle's like, okay, I have to use lethal force now because if this guy who's threatened to kill him, by the way, we saw earlier in the video where he says, "I'm going to kill you," and Rosenbaum was also seen with what's the other guy's name? Grosswitz, I believe he was.
Grosskreutz? Are you talking about Grosskreutz, the one that was on the arm, or is she talking about?
It was the other guy Kyle took out. I forgot what his name was. The skateboard dude, I think it might have been.
That was I think it was something Butte.
Because Rosenbaum and him were together for most of the night. I believe that they were together during this first part. I believe, if I'm correct.
I think it was
skateboard guy.
Arthur something. Let me see.
It's weird that I don't remember his name. So
Yeah,
we're at the story. So Kyle now has to use
Anthony Huber. It was Anthony.
Oh yeah,
Huber. I believe it was
Huber.
Anthony and Rosenbaum were seen together for most of the night, by the way. And they were agitating for violence, of course, because they're disgusting pieces of shit. Obviously.
Yeah.
And so Kyle's being chased, and this guy's threatened to kill him before, by the way. And he's also thrown a bag at him, which could have hurt him or something, possibly.
There was stuff in the bag. Let's clarify, guys. There was stuff. It wasn't just an empty plastic bag.
Yeah, and he said he thought it was a chain. You know, he said he thought it was a chain. So you know, more credit to him for.
Okay, so let's get back to the story. I want to get this through so we can debunk these stupid prosecutors' arguments. And so, okay, Rosenbaum's behind him. We've already established that he's tried to take his gun, which is already a grounds to shoot him. He's already right behind him, by the way. And he's thrown something at him. Okay, so that's step one. And now he's tried to reach for the gun. So that's when Kyle turns around the video at the car. I believe Grosswitz he's either behind the car or he's making the other way around because they went a circle around the car. And so Kyle fires a shot, instantly takes him out. You know, takes out the pedophile. Great shot. Mild Kyle's accuracy there. And then Kyle tries to administer aid to him, by the way, and these stupid dumbasses try to hurt him again. And so Kyle retreats. And I believe a reporter tries to help Rosenbaum, but they mistake him because these people are so stupid. They thought that reporter was Kyle. trying to help
Yeah,
Rosenbaum.
it was Richie McGinnis, if I remember
Yeah, it was
correctly.
Richie. Richie was trying to help him, and they thought it was Kyle, so they started to attack him, so they couldn't help him anyway. But
Mm.
it didn't matter because it was a fatal shot. And so, okay, we're past the car now. Kyle is past that, and now he's down the street. And so, Grosswitz is Kyle's running because he's trying to get away from the situation now because it's gone bad. And so Grosswitz comes up to him, and he's like, what are you doing, man?" And he's like, "I'm getting away." And he's like, "What have you been doing, you coward?" He calls him a coward by the Grosswitz, this piece of shit.
Mhm.
And then so these people are starting to follow him now because they think he shot somebody, whatever is going on in the air right now, and these people just want to hurt him, obviously.
Yeah, it was just like 30 people following him, right?
Yeah, because they're chasing him.
Mm.
And I guess one person dead wasn't enough.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to set the scene though, because it wasn't just like one guy.
No, it was a whole
behind,
group.
it was a big
of
group,
people
which
following
and we
him.
should be thankful they didn't shoot anyone else, honestly, because
Yeah,
there
he
were other
could've.
people in his vicinity that he could have shot potentially, but they were still chasing after him.
Yeah, so he's coming down the street, and that's when the video starts, I believe. And so I think that's when this guy kicks him in the head, that black guy that was recently identified. I forgot what his name was. And so he kicks him, and then that's when the skateboarder comes up. What was his name again? Skateboard dude?
Anthony Hubert.
Yeah.
Okay, that's when Anthony Hubert comes up. And so he hits Kyle one time with a skateboard, which is a deadly weapon. I don't want to hear any otherwise. And this guy has been charged with holding a knife to his wife, by the way. So he's not a great person.
Yeah. Domestic abuse
character.
charges, right? Yeah, was he
Yeah.
convicted for them? I think.
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was. They were all convicted felons, of course.
Yeah.
That's just two of these people. And so he hits him with the skateboard, and then Kyle falls to the ground because he's been hitting again. He goes for another shot with the skateboard, and that's when Kyle shoots him. But I forgot the technical reason with his AR. The bullet doesn't cycle fully, so that's when Grosswitz comes up to the situation because he's caught up now because he's been chasing with him with the group because this happens in seconds. Grosswitz then comes up and he's like, he acts like he's gonna surrender at first in the video. That's why he puts the gun. He has the gun
he
out
runs towards
first.
him. He has the gun out, and then he puts the hand like he's like, "No, bro, don't shoot me, man."
He's acting like he's gonna surrender.
He puts the gun or the horizontal right in his hands.
Yeah,
right.
And so Kyle says, "Okay," and so he looks away for a second. That's when Grosswitz pulls the gun out and he has it pointed right at his head. And that's when Kyle unjams his rifle in a second and shoots the bicep shot. Great shot.
Well, I thought that re-racking didn't happen. I thought it was that Kyle pointed the gun away from him. I thought re-racking was what they tried to say happens because if Kyle had to re-rack the gun, then that means that there was extra time in there, and that Gage might not have actually been attacking him. I think he didn't. He didn't rack the gun.
The forward assist. He that's what he did. He pressed the forward assist. You can see in the video. So the bolt fully comes forward.
Yeah.
And that's when he takes him out with the bicep shot. And so there's this other guy standing next to Grosswitz, and he has his hands up. And Kyle doesn't shoot him, obviously, because he's not a threat to him. The threat's been dealt with. And so
he aimed it at him, right? Yeah, he was in 10 feet. So I think he actually could have been justified in taking that shot too. I think potentially.
Yeah, he could have been, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
So Kyle, like a Chad, gets up after he's been almost killed like 3 times tonight. And so he starts walking to the police to surrender. And so, but the police, I forgot the technical reason or whatever, they spray him so he doesn't surrender, and so he goes home. And so that's the story of what happened that night.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he just told him to go home. I think he had contact with them that night. But they just told him
he tried to surrender to the police.
Yeah, they just told him that they would like talk to him later, I guess, something like that.
Yeah, the thing about this case is that anyone who's been in a fight, knows that because Binger was making the argument, right? There were so many things he could have done if it was a self-defense case. He could have kicked, he could have blocked, he could have continued to run. And so I don't care about what Binger says because Binger's acting in bad faith. He's a prosecutor. You can always assume that they're acting in bad faith. But anyone else who's making that argument has never been into a fight. I've been in a few fights, and it's like when you're in that situation, what happens just kind of happens, and you might not even properly remember it. And like there's no one who has ever been in a tight spot who's making the argument that this was Kyle should have done other things other than use lethal force.
No, and this stupid argument this guy came up with, he should have fought him like a man with his fist. Like, shut up, you dumb piece of shit. Go back to Golden Corral, dummy. Anyway, let's debunk your stupid
I mean, one of the
argument for a
guys was
second.
5'3", so I think maybe he could have taken one of them. I don't know. Maybe.
It's not
Okay,
like
story
he has
on-
a skateboard, which is a deadly weapon.
Oh yeah, the
He's
skateboard thing
easily-
though
He's
is
on the ground, by
actually
the way. He's
Yeah,
on the ground, so
so-
he's in a vulnerable position.
like he would have been like super disoriented, right? He probably like it's surprising, like that he did so well in that situation at all, because he would have been completely disoriented. He was hit in the head, and he like had to roll, and it was
Yeah, and
like
Kroswitz
it's insane
is
how
right
well
there
he
pointing
did.
a gun at him. He could
Yeah.
easily kill him any second.
Yeah. Well, Kyle's not the only sharpshooter named Kyle now, or Chris Kyle, I mean. No, so, but I wanted to, because we were talking, Jamie brought up Rosenbaum being so short, how he could have, beat him in a fight, which is like, he could have had a knife and stuff like that. But if you've ever I've never fought a short person, but I've heard stories and I've seen videos, and short people fight like animals, dude. There was a dude in the mafia. He killed so many people. He was like 5'4". He was famous. I don't remember his name, but yeah. I find it funny that Mr. Binger was trying to belittle Rosenbaum, but because of how short he was, talking about him with terms such as ragdoll and tiny little man with a Napoleon complex. It's like it's so funny because moments before he talked about him as short like that, he was like, Mr. Rosenbaum is not here today to defend himself. It's like, and then he goes to berate how short he is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I mean, he was like a wild man, right?
That he tried to rape, by the way.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
he should have been in jail for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was laid out of an insane asylum recently, right? I think that was him.
Yeah, he was like came out of an insane
Well, out of prison.
asylum.
Was that? Yeah, it was it was a psychiatric ward, I think. Yeah.
I heard it was hospital. I've heard it from Mr. Binger that it was the hospital, so it could have been a psych ward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know he was like a wild man too, right? Like because like he was the guy that was shouting the N-word and like threatening to fight. Didn't he hit someone with didn't he hit someone else with a chain or something? Like he was wilding out that night. So it actually probably would have been like he actually probably like you still wouldn't want to fist fight him. Like I said that mostly in jest that he could have taken him. Was usually honestly you still want you don't want to fight someone, especially because he was going for his gun in the first place, right? So it wouldn't even have mattered. But it wasn't like he was going for a fist fight either. It's not as if he was like 1v1 bro, we're gonna fight right now. He was like, no, I'm gonna take your gun and then shoot you with your own gun. So
yeah, 100%. Sorry, my alarm went off there. I had to mute myself. I thought I had my phone muted. I did. I don't know why it made a noise, but sorry.
But it's a good night. It's the best men's day ever. As I tweeted.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. White men take home the win.
That's right.
They're just over it,
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the eternal white boy summer, as we all know.
Oh,
it
yeah.
truly is. White boy summer lives on to white boy Christmas now.
White boy Christmas. That's right.
Oh,
Sadly,
yeah,
I won't be getting a white Christmas because when you live in the state of Florida, it's not exactly the snowiest place ever.
Yeah. I'm from New Mexico, so I can echo that sentiment.
Yeah.
But this kid, he should have statues. Well, maybe not necessarily. Statues would be great. They'd be a nice touch. But
he should have a statue. Okay, you gotta have one. If we're talking multiple, that might be a little bit too much for the man. But I think he deserves one, like a statue. Yeah, he's got.
Yeah, 100%. He
said it best. He should be given an award on Twitter. I think I agree with Paul Gosar's statement on that.
Oh yeah, he deserves a job. Compensation from the prosecution for the year lost, the ability to go to any college, I suppose, in Wisconsin. He deserves a lot here. just because of how much his life's been ruined and how hard the rest of his life is going to be, because they're going to make it hell for him. The feds have made it hell for people who have done a lot less than Kyle has done, and I guarantee you they'll do it to him.
Yeah, it's gonna be absolutely atrocious for him. That's why I think like was it? I think Elijah Schaefer said that he might try and be a political personality maybe, because he said he was. I mean,
Paul Ghost it's really
was, like,
saying they should join his team. Like they're fighting over who he should join.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his life is forever ruined. Let's not forget that. Even though this was a win, that's how far we've stooped to our justice system. That the obvious case of self-defense is a win.
Yeah, and even then, it still is, the whole thing is emotionally damaged to him, right? Was I think he was 100% justified in being there and everything that he did, but in actuality, he shouldn't have needed to be there in the first place. It's a disservice that he even needed to be there in the first place.
Yeah, he would have been there.
He has permanent emotional scarring now, right? Was because if you remember during the trial, he even broke down crying when he was recalling the events for that night. So and people said that he was like faking it. You know what I mean? You saw on Twitter, they're like he was just fake crying, and it's like, dude, have you never seen anyone cry in your entire life? Are you sick? Are you these people are sick? But they would say that he was fake crying on those stands when he was obviously like breaking down.
No, these people are just bad actors and they're just lying because they obviously know this man has been through living hell because of them, mostly because of their lies.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's another symptom of people who've never been in a fight. It's like once you've been in a fight, you look back on that, and there's emotional repercussions. And he not only was he rightfully justified in defending himself from the mob of a community that he's trying to keep clean, his fellow man, and then he lost and his father. They had to go through all this stress too. That's another symptom of people just really not knowing what it's like to be in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and hopefully the interview with Tucker Carlson on Monday should be really good. I recommend you all check it out. Mm-hmm. Tucker will be interviewing Kyle on Monday. Check it out.
It's supposedly also on Slightly Offensive in the future as well. I don't know. Supposedly, I guess.
That should be good.
His future will be with
That'll
us
be good.
because that's his only option for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Get him a guest seat on Louder with Crowder
as well. Wow, we hope to see that.
Yeah, no.
He was well, he wasn't he was actually he was pretty a lot of was it Steven Crowder he was pretty supportive of Chauvin as well, really. Was even though he's seen it, he's like moderate basic Republican guy who's well informed, we'll say that. But yeah, even those guys, they were 100% for Kyle, and even for let's be honest, Steven Crowder was like one of the only more mainstream basic conservative guys that was for Chauvin. Well,
I didn't see any conservatives against Chauvin, but I didn't see anyone for him.
Yeah.
So
I would say Steven Crowder, I would say, was for him. Like I would say, I would say that.
Yeah.
I would say that
100%.
none of the other ones really were, but I would say that Crowder was.
A lot of the Republicans were against him. They said it was a travesty. Ted Cruz said that this guy should be put in jail. Obviously falling for the narrative. So these people should not be let off the hook for that.
Yeah. Well, I like to give a little bit of benefit of doubt for the things that were said earlier on, at least, because not all the facts were out then. Later on, there's a lot more culpability for them of what they said about it. But in the beginning, I give a little bit more, a little more like relaxed leniency. Yes,
leniency.
You can take away from this is that the rats in the mainstream media can never be trusted with anything. Yeah. They're absolute scum of the earth. Do not trust anything they say. They're all lies.
Yeah,
that's how you should take it.
Yeah, about a year ago is when people started saying just believe the opposite of what the media tells you. And you can't just believe the opposite, because what is the opposite? You don't know what the opposite is. But you can pretty much just assume bad faith in every single thing they do. Everyone they demonize is probably a hero
I mean, yeah. At this point,
or
I mean, that's what they
a
have to view
victim.
things. Was I mean, that's what you have to view them as the enemy, right? So if they are the enemy, then why should we take what they say at face value, like almost ever? Because if they constantly lie, if like that's what you do with like a constant liar or like a constant cheater, like in like a marriage, you just don't trust them. So why should we trust them? So
Yeah,
No, they're
100%.
just propaganda for the regime. That's all they are. Propaganda for the regime. The illegitimate regime, I might add.
yeah.
Yeah, by the way, what was that with MSNBC getting kicked out of the courtroom? I didn't really see much on
Oh,
that.
do you know? I mean, I know a little bit about it. Do you know about it? American AP.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it. You go
Okay.
ahead.
So there was I think there was a van following the jury transport bus, trying to get photos and information about them, and then he was caught, of course, doing that. So MSNBC said that, oh guys, he's not our employees, but I think he's actually he works in it's like management. I shoot, but he's he's a private contractor. I think that's what they said. So he doesn't work for us, guys. That's what the thing says. He doesn't actually work for MSNBC. So, but imagine being like, guys, I don't work for this company. I'm only, and then being like, but he's a private contractor. So it's a mess. But I'm sure maybe you can explain it better, AP.
I don't work for them, but they pay me. You know,
Yeah. Yes.
they keep my
Yeah.
food warm. It's
Let's
like,
not
yeah,
forget what they were trying to do. This was blackmail. Let's not forget about it. They were trying to publish these people's name because if they convicted wrong, they will be punished by the mob, which they control fully with their propaganda. That's what the purpose of that was. And Republicans need to take that seriously because that is a threat to us all.
Well, yeah.
The
But I
justice
think he's
system
gonna come out of it though.
yeah.
Like,
I
let's be
mean,
honest.
that's borderline.
Yeah,
Like
it's a
no one's
threat
gonna
to
get
the
Oh yeah,
get prosecuted
I
because it doesn't actually go through. No one's gonna get prosecuted because of that. Like that's the problem. Is that like
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna have
Gage
to end
Groskowitz
stream in
needs to be
like 5 minutes,
prosecuted, but he won't
so
be.
oh yeah,
we'll have
because
to wrap it
it
up in
was
five
illegal gun
minutes.
possession, right? Like he couldn't own that gun, right? It was an illegal gun possession for Grosskreutz.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
a felon
I'm
for
just saying. Yeah, he won't be
but we're gonna
prosecuted
have to
when
wrap the
he
live
needs to
stream up
be.
in 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
So let's go ahead and wrap some things up about Kyle, and then we'll do our closing statements.
Well, who's going first? I'd imagine.
You go ahead, Professor.
Yeah, you can go first.
Sure. Well, what we need to take away is that first of all, Kyle is a hero. Be like Kyle. Do not do something that is stupid. Just be like Kyle. But don't let them make you think that Kyle is a fool. Kyle was doing the right thing. They are trying to get you to stop being like Kyle. So be like Kyle. Yeah, we need to prosecute the prosecution, and we need to prosecute Groskowitz, however you say his name, free Chauvin, and then maybe we will have justice with a statue on top.
I will come in
A
on
big
top of
statue,
that.
a bigly statue, very big.
Obviously, base Kyle deserves it.
Yeah.
We know that.
Mm.
But we should take away from this that the justice system is obviously rigged against us, especially us, and will be used accordingly to aspire enemies. And so that needs to be fixed immediately. And the reason why the mainstream media is so upset there was a victory is because that means there's an ounce of integrity left in the justice system that can be used for us. That's why they're so angry. Remember that. That's what the soy faces are angry. The crabs, as Nathaniel likes to call them. The crabs of society. And, we should be white-pilled about Kyle. It was a good start, but we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of things to push back against, and we need to move forward from this. And I'll leave it to you, Jamie.
Oh, I just think it's one important thing to remember is just that we need to take this and realize how predatory this whole system was, and then realize that that could be you, or could be. Well, I doubt that you have an older audience. That could be your kids. You know what I mean? So so people have to realize that this actually was a very important thing. I mean, I'm sure the majority of people on our side know that it was, but I think a lot of people don't know, or had very little information. So I really do hope that this wakes a lot of people up as well, and because it even showed was it technological incompetence, and that was no one's going to get prosecuted for that. But but it just showed that that our legal system is kind of a mess, and that they're and if you do something wrong, they're out for you. So just know that, I guess.
They're
Yeah.
out for
But
blood.
but be
They
willing
won't
to, but
stop until you're put into a camp and
Yeah.
dead.
But that
That's
doesn't mean
how
you still
far they
shouldn't
will
stand up,
go.
though, right? But some things are worth sacrificing for. Like, you can't just sit around all day. You have to actually get out there, because that's what really matters. You know what I mean? So if you're serious about something, it's still worth going for it. And hey, maybe you at least have a chance. That's what this proves tonight. You at least have a chance if things go the worst way possible.
The harder
And
the
with
path,
that,
the more the
I will
honor.
close out this live stream. We thank God for giving us this victory in this live jury. Obviously the jury was very much intimidated, and they're going to be threatened as soon as the mainstream rats will leak their stuff out. So they need to be protected because they will be threatened. Make no mistake. And if it was you, they would do the same thing. Remember that. They will always do the same thing. You are their enemy. Never forget that. And I'm American Populist. And if you enjoyed my special guests, check out their channels.
Yes.
And have a good night. Bye.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night, yo.
Good to be here.
Pray for cities across America.
Exactly.